of Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet users transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. And unfortunately, keep losing people to ill health. It's kind of like a plague ward in here sometimes. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie are still in Anbir, currently trying to fix the almighty mess that was the eventual end result of the remaining surviving Protector Azamar being held effectively against their will in a little township just on the edge of Anbir. That got more or less resolved through a fair bit of jail, trial, duel, giant fucking dragon, which caused another part of the mess in that, oh dear, it would appear that the Five Claws of Bahamut have now effectively had to out themselves as dragons for the first time in effectively centuries. Oopsie, yeah, but what choice did y'all have? Now, unfortunately, the thing that y'all have is the what, as Barnabas phrased it, the apology tour. So far, you've got the worst one out of the way in terms of Crea Bendis. But there you have to make some other amends. Specifically in this case, find something unique to hunt it, bring back a trophy and a story. Effectively, you've more or less decided that the best bet is turning up in Egref and going to the academy and finding out if there's anything they know about that is particularly weird that probably needs to be put down. But we're not there yet. We still haven't apologized to the rest of them. There's some questions about the order of things. More to the point, which one they should do dead last. But they kind of have to sort out the mess in Anbir before they can really do ones like, for example, Egref and Belerace. Egref because they're not going to want to bounce back and forth when they're hunting the thing, and Belerace because they're going to have to at least stop for dinner at Corey and Amel's because the in-laws will find out that they came through and will not be particularly pleased if people didn't at least stop and say hello. We ended up with people effectively going more or less their separate ways. Ava was um, Ava was helping Farida look after the Olivand, Davith, and the kids. Though Darvin, after I'm gonna have to deprive Ethan, unfortunately. Darvin, after whatever uh, was clearly considering getting into some sort of interesting shenanigans with Rylan, but in the end, kind of thought, I should probably go and. Because thinking about it, Paylor's at least a little like Bahamut in the kind of uh, doing things for those who cannot do for themselves, and Ava's been talking for a while about how she can zone of truth things, and I'm sure Paylor would want her to be able to do that. So, what I'm gonna do, because I don't know. Did you want to wander around Ambier on your own? No. I'm hearing no.
Sorry,
No,
then.
no, you're not there yet. I will.
I would get so lost so fast.
Well, okay. In which case, what I'll do is we'll find you the Palor Shrine, and you can wait for Hazel. You saw it was a big, pretty greenhouse, so at least you got plants and stuff. I'm trying, okay,
No.
and you know, basically leaves you at the door, and it's like I'll send Ava in this general direction. I mean, Hazel at this point is currently mid prayer, because that's going to take a little while even for the answer of just wait for your companion, you boob. Because, Paylor occasionally be like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Darvin kind of turns up at Ollivan and Davith's new house in a much less charcoaled part of town. Um, this is where Ava finds out that the housing in Anbir is basically handled entirely through taxation. The taxes are fairly high, but there's no rent, no maintenance fees on households, and every other civic thing is more or less handled that way. So Darvin basically, I think you were the one who got left with Flitty, so sort of get a knock at the door, and Davith is kind of like, I'll get it. You two just Olivand is, we're hanging the curtains. We're hanging the curtains, okay? They got curtains. They're trying to deal with because it's a nice house. It's just a little plain, and Davith has an aesthetic. So suffice to say, Darwin sort of bounces in and is going. Uh, Either of you want to be relieved of duty? Actually, that should probably be Ava because we're looking at casting Zone of Truth on guards. And
Okay.
Farada is just like, yeah, well, I'm the tall one, so I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of the curtain hanging anyway. But I could help. I, Dad grudgingly, occasionally, but still said that I have a reasonable eye for color, which is about the best compliment he was ever gonna get. It's a little backhanded, but what are you gonna do? You might want to meet up with Hazel and Rylan at the Palor shrine.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Yeah, and yeah, Rylan, I am assuming, kind of looking at the greenhouse temple for a while.
Sort of taking notes and just getting lost in the plants.
Yeah, so Ava finds Rylan lost in the plants.
Enjoying it?
Hmm? What? Oh, hey,
Enjoying the
everything.
greenery.
It's a nice little reminder of home. I like it.
Yeah, mostly you have berry bushes.
Darwin said
Sweet.
we were looking to use Zone of Truth on some guards.
uh, Rylan, just as a reminder that Hazel was apparently praying for, to get Zone of Truth into her arsenal, but Darvin understands that Palor is likely to say, "You already have that."
Yeah, that's sound to be the plan. Hazel's praying, double checking that she's got the spells for it. I'm sure she has, but I think she just wanted to double
You've
check and
you've
be
in,
extra sure.
you've entirely misunderstood what I just said.
I'm the one who'll be
Oh,
casting it.
Yeah,
She didn't have the spell.
it was Hazel. Hazel was asking to be given Zone of Truth, but Darvin just said that um, the whole thing is that Palor knows that they've got somebody who's got that spell, so probably likely to just say let Ava do it.
right.
But that's okay. You can just go. Oh no, right. Sorry, I was lost in the plants.
Yes, wait, brain, work.
That's
Um,
fine. That's fine.
I don't know what the protocol is for pulling someone out of a prayer like that.
Probably want to let him
Nab
finish.
Hazel. Then let her finish it is.
Okay. Um, know what? I'm just gonna leave everybody for a little while, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Now, this was after dinner, and it's starting to get quite late now, and you wait, and you wait.
So,
Hmm. This is taking a lot longer than I feel it should be. Should
at
probably go
what
check.
point do we just go in there and get her ourselves?
We should probably at least just check on her, nothing else.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, fair enough.
I um.
Turn inside.
Well, no. I mean, you were inside. It's just it probably takes a few peeking into rooms and seeing various corridors to see where you're going, and I mean, you definitely see an altar. Um, Incense has burned down remarkably low, but there does not appear to be a hazel anywhere in this building.
Hazel,
Oh God, God's
let's not
above
let's not
how we
panic.
can
Let's
lose,
not panic. Hazel,
right? Hazel!
do you have a message?
You do not have a hazel, but you have a halfling in by this point it's literally a paler cleric robe kind of half thrown on over pajamas. Um, I'm sorry, there is no one here by that name. Why are you shouting?
Sorry, didn't mean to disturb you. Our halfling friend was half elven friend was here um earlier. You haven't seen her, have you?
We saw a half elf.
Rainbow
We saw a
long
half
hair.
elf. By that description, a couple of times over the last few days, she came in here, was praying for a while. We kind of assumed she'd left. I mean, she is a cleric. We're not gonna
Oh
follow
yes,
her
no.
around the place.
It's just we thought she'd have finished by now, and we thought she'd be here, but apparently not. Mm. Sorry, we disturbed you. We'll keep looking online.
Right. Sorry, didn't mean to wake
Okay,
you.
stop panic. I damn it, I don't have an object of hers. Um, check out the
I mean,
walls.
poorly, there's
I'm gonna
some
try and
way to find
concentrate
her.
on her bow.
You realize if you wanted a chance to a greater chance for this to work well, you could A, check to see if somehow she slipped past you and is in the bone orchard, and B,
Hmm.
she's probably left a couple of things that she's at least handled there.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'd probably have a look at where she was, see if there's any traces of.
Right. Yes. Good. Good idea. Space 3 steps.
Mm, but yeah, it actually doesn't say you need an object, or oh no, that you need it works better if you have an object
Yeah,
in that
because
room. Right, okay.
as I recall, a spell like that, basically if you have something of theirs or something that they've handled, etc., it stacks
Mhm.
the odds in your favor. It means the
Right,
roll you have to make isn't as high.
got it.
And there's other things that uh, will make it work less well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least partially on me. Can you throw up the spell card just so I know what we're
Yep.
dealing with?
Oh no, no, wrong one. Sorry.
Okay, so no, this is more object than person. So you're you probably don't have to, but you could. You don't really have anything that would connect to it anyway. But I mean, you could check and see if she somehow went past you, or you can just aim for locate object and see if that will work.
Mm.
Do I want
Mm.
to? possibly try and retrace our steps to the Bone Orchard, see if
We could go and
anything was left
see. I
back
mean,
there.
maybe we missed her. I can't see how, but worth a try. At least we can maybe ask the twins if they saw her. If anything.
I mean,
Fair point. Fair
Rylan
point.
will know that it is entirely possible that her prayers were done a lot sooner than expected, and you and Darvin got there before she went out, because you didn't
Hmm.
peek in to see if. And Ava obviously turned up much later. And if nothing else, everybody else should have got back by now. I mean, to be fair, you were all supposed to. Actually, that's the thing that Rylan more knows, because Ava was busy helping. That's the other thing. It's been an awfully long time. You guys were supposed to meet out front of the the temple in a couple of hours. It's been a lot longer than a couple of hours, and you two are the only ones here.
Wait
Wait a
haven't heard
minute.
from the others in a while either.
We were supposed to meet here, front of the temple, in a few hours,
Hmm.
which would
Okay.
have probably been a few hours ago by now.
Can
Probably.
can both of you
Okay.
make can you both of you make me an intelligence check, please?
Nope.
Actually, this weirdly makes sense because it would have been based a little bit more on perception, and and Ava's memories of that particular day are a little bit dominated by the scene up on the sixth floor. Rylan is thinking, okay, um, Jessamy stabbed Hazel. A couple of people stabbed Barnabas. Barnabas accidentally stabbed Clarity. Remy got her ass handed to her by Tag, so she was bleeding an awful lot. And Alice clearly got. Nobody wants to talk about how bad it was, but it was clearly very bad. Everybody who shed blood in that place, apart from, like, Faraday and Darvin, who are looking after Hazel's biological father, I mean, you could check back with them just to make sure that your hypothesis is correct, but so far it would appear that everybody who shed blood that particular day is now not where they're supposed to be. Ava is just like, oh fuck, not this again. I thought we got rid of this when Lord of Chaos and Misrule ass hat used Barnabas's way home to go plane hopping. That's the only thing you can think of people going suddenly missing.
If it's that fucking asshat again, I swear.
No. Hold on.
What?
That last day, inside the anti-magic sphere, you saw how bad Jessamine hurt everyone. Do you imagine?
Some of this one.
The only other parallel
They all
is
had
the blood.
injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I was untouched. You were untouched, apart from you running upstairs, and I don't even want to know how you saw Alice.
trust me, you don't. Darwin and Faraday, did they have any injuries? Don't think so.
No, Rylan remembers Faraday was staying very much on the edge of things, getting kids out of harm's way. And Darvin was remarkably untouched despite floundering into the fray with rapier and shield. How he avoided getting hurt, given what he was up to, is beyond you, but he did.
Faraday was staying out of it, trying to keep the kids away.
Yes, you're right.
I think Darvin got away scot-free somehow, impossibly. But that still leaves the question of where would they all have gone?
They could be in another fucking plane. My locate spell won't work if that's the case. It's only 100,000 feet anyway. And it could be literally anywhere. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Love that for us. Great.
It's okay. We can figure it out. It's gonna be fine.
I guess. I mean, where do we even start looking into or thinking about? Just.
I'm sorry. Given the,
Uh,
I'm gonna keep the intelligence checks because currently Ava's trying not to freak out.
So,
she's been through this a couple times too many. So
mhm.
Rylan, on the other hand, given that 18 in intelligence, well, there's a few people you could ask. There is obviously the twins at the Bone Orchard. You are in the middle of a temple, and you've probably woken everybody up by now by yelling for Hazel, so maybe, but you know. Um, there's also Farida vaguely mentioned particularly helpful and frighteningly well informed half orc at a little cafe at the edge of that dark alley on the off the street of knowledge where you were going to investigate anyway, but haven't really had opportunity thus far. So there's the questionable sources of information here. There's asking the basically immortal Mobius twins to see if they have any further ideas, or there's going direct to Creepy Alley and talking to, you believe the name was Offred.
okay. Okay. Oh, okay. A couple of options. We've been
Please.
screaming so long, we've probably woken people up here. Maybe they know something, but that's a little dicey.
Yeah.
Farida was looking into this cafe at the end of that dark alley on the Street of Knowledge. There was a half orc uh, there. We were gonna look into that anyway, and then plans got sidetracked. We could just go straight back to the Bone Orchard, talk with Alana and Niala. Maybe they know something.
If not, they might know means of finding out, but we don't have.
Also true. I'm just
I mean, I'd say
uh,
that I'd vote we start with the biggest twin and work from there personally, but
yeah, good idea. Let's just go.
sound like a plan.
Let's just go.
Okay,
Okay.
so sorry, you kind of muttered that last in panic voice. Where are you going?
Oh, Mobius twins.
Okay, yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's probably just as well for you that Niala never seems to fucking sleep, as you're doing the panic power walk uh, up towards the house when you hear thump behind you. Okay, the group has gotten awful lot smaller now.
It is precisely our issue. You haven't seen any of the
Yep.
others, have you, by any chance?
Would I be simply saying that the group has got rather a lot smaller if the rest of them were in there having hot chocolate and waiting for your late asses?
No, I expect not.
So, what we're going to
I
do is
think
we're going to feed you some hot chocolate so you can calm the fuck down, and then we'll have a conversation where everybody's not talking at the same speeds as well, my sister and your, I guess, sister too, in a way.
That'd be a good idea.
Walks past you as she bangs open the door. Lana, time to break out the hot chocolate. We've got a situation. Do I have to sew anybody? I don't know yet.
Hopefully not.
Well, if we had to sew somebody, at least we'd have somebody to sew.
Mm,
Sometimes it's better to know than not.
I suppose.
I'll break out the good stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that happen. It's fine. if believe me, if it was anything that was going to be particularly unfortunate for you, this is too serious to just let her. It nudges you to the kitchen. Sit. Explain.
Everyone is gone.
Well,
Succinct
The
and to the
only
point.
connection the
we
only connection we have is the two of us went unharmed that last day in the anti-magic sphere when all the shit went down.
you're forgetting Varda and Darwin.
I think I
And
think
not
I
the
think I think they were trying to uh expedite
oh
things
right.
by streamlining.
Basically, yeah.
So
And the
the other two, I take it, are looking after one or the other of the ones you guys are fretting over.
yeah.
Hmm.
Which
And we
one?
were
Which one? Because I can go and have a look.
Davos and
Davith and Olivand.
yeah.
Shipwright, right? Okay. Um,
And we were supposed to meet at the Palel's temple where Hazel was praying, but
No
several
one
hours passed
else.
and Hazel wasn't there, and the others didn't show up either.
so you
And
don't know exactly when she went missing.
no,
Nope.
Do you know what the rest of you were going to do? Because you were just talking about Hazel. As you guys remember it, just to remind you, because it was 2 weeks ago and Marion wasn't there for that. Um, Barnabas and Clarity were going shopping. Remy and Alice were, well, you don't know what they were doing, but I'm going to give this to Ava because she does know Alice the best of the two of you. If you know anything about Alice, she has been largely deprived actually just being able to look at the Street of Song. So if she was going to be anywhere, it would be there. But you also know well enough that Alice would not just lose track of time. So, but it's a place to look and see, frankly.
well, knowing Alice, she would have wanted to explore the street of Stone more, and Remy would have definitely gone with her.
Well, yeah, Rylan knows that that is how they split up. It was Remy and Alice, Barnabas and Clarity. And if you recall correctly, Barnabas was looking for a gift for Cherie. So, Alana and Niala might know where they would have gone to look for something like that.
And Barnabas and Clarity paired off. Barnabas wanted to get a gift for Cherie for all the help, and
I think it was
probably
for a
just for
slightly, I think it was for a slightly different reason than that, but I'd be
yes, but that's
I'd be suggesting well, pulls out a notepad, writes down a couple of addresses. This is the wine bar she likes. This is the pastry cafe she likes. And given how your friend Barnabas is about making absolutely sure that he has all the information to set things right, here's the address for the we call them yentas that he went to see when discussing courting. Yentas are basically the ones who help people through the courtship rituals of various uh, cultures. Frankly, her name's Svetlana. He would have gone to the best.
thank you.
At
That's
the very
all.
least, if you went to Svetlana, you can she'd be able to say where she pointed those two at. Um, and Alana it puts mugs of steaming hot chocolate piled high, not with whipped cream, but with marshmallow. Just like it's like a snowball of marshmallow just crammed into the
Mm-hmm.
mugs. It also smells of Rylan just gets alcohol of some kind because Rylan has not experienced uh, much in the way of the various different kinds of liquor you can get, but Ava recognizes as brandy. This is the quintessential just a nip to calm you the fuck down. That's if you can drink it through, like, baseball-sized lump of marshmallows. You're muted? Or something's unplugged, I don't know. Well, we heard a click, but nothing yet. Ah, okay.
Yeah. Does Ryan know there's alcohol? He just doesn't know what it is, or he doesn't know it's alcohol.
Mhm.
No, there is a smell to alcohol that you cannot really mistake for anything else.
Rylan is too panicked. His drink is empty in about a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to hand to fate this because
That's-
you are
It's fine.
basically opening up your mouth and swallowing, like I said, baseball-sized lump of miniature marshmallow.
This is fine. Rylan is too panicked to think.
Mm-hmm.
You get the entire thing down, but then you have a couple of seconds of trying desperately to swallow the lump of marshmallow that got stuck in your throat that you didn't really notice, but thankfully, because marshmallows melt in damp, it only takes a couple of swallows and it so you don't end up spraying half melted marshmallow all over the table.
You alright?
I mean, you like overall or right now?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, places to start. That is good.
Hey.
Look, I'll go check on Darwin and Faraday, and I'll tell them to stay where they are.
Please.
I'll Lana,
The
we're
mega-
gonna need some of the guest linens. They won't have thought to buy guest linens when they were first starting to get their own damn linens. Oh yeah, good point. If they're going to have to sleep there, and they are going to have to sleep there, we may as well at least assist that. We'll just get them to stay there for the time being. Assuming they are still
Good.
there, but I'll go do that and I'll let you know. And Alana's like, should I help with the looking or no? You will stay there in case they come back. How likely do you think that actually is? I don't know, but A, somebody has to do it, and B, it had better be you. Fine. Well, I'm sorry, but they're not going to. The various Mr. Boneses are not going to be of any help there. Yeah, okay, good point. And I'm actually trying to remember where the hell Michigan was. Probably still in the house, which is why you probably wind up with incredibly panicked-looking little church griffin landing on eeny, meeny, miny Ava's head.
Oh.
Snug? Snug? Snug?
Just try and
Yeah, Rylan is probably better with animals in general, weirdly, because ranger, but grew up in forest. That is the reaction of, where is the snug giver? Where has my person gone? You are not my person, but I want my person.
I know. We don't know where she is. We're looking for her.
And Alana's like, oh no, I know that look. You wear that look. Yeah, that's why I know it! Even on a beak face! Well, that's another thing you could do. Keep him busy, or see if he can keep him busy for now. If they're anywhere in the city, maybe you can convince him to go looking for them. But for now, you just need to get him off her head. Snug! I'm the next best thing. I'm just as hyper cheerful and weird.
Might actually work.
And kind of reluctantly. No, Snug. Just loaf.
No. Thank you.
It's a start. So, okay, where are you guys going to start? Street of Song or the Street of Love and Beauty, which is where a couple of the addresses on there are?
I guess furthest and work our way back.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
well, the Street in Love and Beauty and the Street of Song kind of intersect, so so it's probably Street of Song, Street of Love and Beauty, heading in the general vicinity of Street of Knowledge. And I would like you both, because you're actively looking, to make me perception checks.
Perception. 16.
And of course, it's Rylan who spots the various bits and pieces. On the Street of Song, Rylan spots it first, mostly because it's still pretty dark. Ava is human. That should have been a disadvantage, therefore. So, I mean, there's no, it's fine. There's street light, so you have some light. It's just that Rylan's better at dim lighting.
Right.
That's the excuse I'm using for their roll beating yours. So yeah, finds because this is a weird thing to find on the Street of Love and Beauty. It's a couple of bits of relatively large tooth, which you vaguely recall were sewn onto leather bands that Alice generally wears as a part of the northern dance as language thing. So.
Teeth. Rylan is panicked. Okay.
Is it just teeth, or are they attached to a bit of cloth?
No, I mean Rylan can see that there's a bit of thread attached to, and a couple of holes at the at the root, but it's not sewn to anything anymore. But
when I see it, would I make the connection? Or
probably yes, but right now, however, there are consequences to verbiage.
Fair enough.
Right now, all you're getting is teeth.
Alice's thing, words.
If he's pointing, if they're pointing, I look.
Sewing thing.
Yeah, and given that Rylan wasn't as much on the having to hunt with the people as Ava was, that's, if you recall from various of the individuals that you could actually understand talking, that is Ice Drake Tooth.
Mm-hmm. It's Ice Drake Tooth, I think. It's definitely Alice's.
It means she was at least here.
Yep.
I mean, we. Okay.
Is it worth trying to locate object, do you think? From using this as.
It's worth a shot at this point. I don't.
Okay.
It's gonna hurt to try. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. It won't.
Well, I mean, forked sticks are remarkably easy to find. We're gonna hand a fate this one too. Yeah, when you try it, your dowsing rod twitches for a moment, and can you make me a dex save, please?
Oh, jeez.
Actually, both of you, but Rylan has advantage because they're not actually holding it. Rylan has actually been keyed for bad shit to happen.
Oh,
Ava, not so much. So that's 3 points of piercing damage as the rod shatters to splinters in your hands.
But was I using the rod? Because I was just using the spells.
But it's got a material component, and that is a forked stick.
Oh,
Because we need to remember that because you don't have a spell casting focus the way Hazel does, or the way Rylan does, or hell, even the way Faraday does, you still need the material components. Even if they're, I mean, Hazel and Rylan and Faraday, they don't need them unless it's something very costly, because they have a spellcasting focus. You don't. So.
Well, I guess that means that didn't work.
Yeah, given that Rylan was the one who actually did the fairly good intelligence roll, and didn't start with, well, that obviously didn't work. One of the things that you recall from the various conversations that admittedly Ava was not a part of is that they couldn't, yeah, because Ava doesn't know this at all. When they did, when they did speak with Dead on Jessamy's corpse, the corpse didn't answer. So in some form, she's probably still wandering around out there somewhere. And it's pretty clear that something they were doing was also because of the guards getting, the runaway guards getting stronger as things went on, and frankly, the that whole mess basically. So that probably didn't just not work. It probably didn't work because there are some nasty magics at work here, which means that if you really want information, your best bet is probably, God's help you all, the startlingly well-connected individual at the head of the street of the dark gods. But he was helpful to Darwin and Faraday, so hopefully. But yeah, Ava's.
Okay, do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Yes.
We're gonna have to go to the end of the Street of the Dark Gods and talk to that person who was nice to Darwin and Faraday.
You do know the name. The name is Offred.
Offred.
Okay.
So what's the good
The
news?
good news is, despite your stick exploding, the spell worked.
I'm not sure color.
It worked, but you were blocked from it, which means some other magic is getting in the way.
That would make sense.
Hence, talk to Dark Alley person.
Well, not like we have many other options right now.
Okay, we'll leave you there for the time being. We will move on to Barnabas and Clarity, who were heading in the approximate direction of the Bone Orchard to, at the very least, put away your parcels before you met everybody back at the shrine. Darkness descends. Like, not even dark vision can deal with this dark vision. Remy,
that's never good.
Remy's might because it's
Oh.
patron gifts. Have you give me an approximation of how you guys were walking? So side by side, fairly close together. What?
Clarity would be next to him, just like a respectful distance, like not in his bubble.
Okay. And of course, you've got the mystery box.
Right. Yes.
Hand of fate. This one. Yeah. No. Rather unfortunately, you drop the mystery box.
No.
When light returns, it's fairly dim, and the floor underneath you appears to be rocking slightly. This would be because you were in the human equivalent of, well, humanoid, biped, individual version of bird cages, suspended over, well, you can't really see what the hell is down there, but there's a lot of down, probably.
What the fuck?
Because, obviously each in separate cages, because you weren't in his bubble. And yeah, I'm gonna clarify this for you right now. No, your magic does not work. So there's not going to be any echoing your way out of this one, even if you could see where to put one.
I appreciate the clarification before the futility happens.
Well, it was more I was a little bit worried about you attempting to, because if it's only 30 feet, if you went 30 feet down and then tried to swap, well, that would be a problem.
Ah.
This is for your own protection as much as anything else.
All right then.
Barnabas? There's no floor.
Well, no, there's floor. There's just cage floor.
Is there holes in the floor, or is it like a plank?
Basically, you
Sort
know,
of
you know
situation.
how a bird cage works?
Mm-hmm.
Metal floor.
Okay,
Bars.
okay.
And the thing is, you're suspended in your cage over.
I mean down there, not here. There's a floor here. I'm not concerned about this floor. I'm concerned about that floor down there, that it's not there.
I'm a little more concerned about where the fucking hell we are.
Also, I really wanted to know what was in that box.
Don't worry, they're heading in the general direction, because if they hadn't made the good perception check for finding bits of Alice's wristbands, they were definitely going to find the box. I'm not going to make you lose 7 gold worth of surprise box. Yeah.
Clarity doesn't know that, though.
Yeah, no, that's fair, but I wanted to reassure you, the player, because
Thank you.
I'm cruel, but I'm not that cruel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, thoughts, conversations, things to do.
Can I see anything like outward? Like, I know that down is a situation, but like outward.
Give me a perception check at disadvantage, because you're kind of a ways from anything.
Okay. Hold on a second. Disadvantage. 3.
You can't even see what the chain at the top of your cage is connected to, much less anything on the walls to either side.
Barnabas is going to try to see if he can make out any other details as well. Disadvantage, I'm assuming, or no?
No, because if she has disadvantage and she has dark vision.
Oh, then I see nothing.
You see. There's enough dim light potentially coming from the cage. You have no the hell idea to see that you're in one. That's about it.
Can we see each other?
I'm gonna say yes at this point, just because you weren't in his bubble, but you were still relatively close. And yeah, unfortunately, with that 3, you can't actually see anything else. Not even whether there's cages either side. Apparently, whatever it is about them that lets you see, as far as the next cage, only works when there's someone else in them. Which means that a moment or so later, Hazel is unfortunately mid prayer. And it's actually rather painful when it happens because being yanked when your god doesn't want you to be is because you were in the middle of praying is not generally a good idea. But in the end, Palor kind of had to break the connection because it was either that or potentially break his cleric's tiny little mind. So Hazel turns up on her knees in prayer position in the cage next to Clarity's with a massive fucking headache.
Does that make a noise?
Let's see what Hazel has to say.
I'm certainly about to make one, in that the first thing y'all are going to hear is extremely filthy halfling swearing.
Yeah, Clarity can see because it's just the next cage to her. Barnabas can hear that.
I know that swearing anywhere. Hazel!
Where the am I?
We're trying to figure that out.
Oh, fuck. So, question, does it hurt this much for you guys, too?
No?
No, just kind of dangling.
Yeah, that's when you notice that you're in the same cage situation. And I would like all 3 of you to please make me intelligence checks. Please remember to switch disadvantage off.
Thank you. Oh, what the hell? 6!
Oh dear.
I'm supposed to
You're
be
just-
good at that.
You're just enamored with the rocking of the cage. It's like,
Whee!
cage goes up, cage goes down, cage goes
No,
up.
it's more concerned that Hazel is talking about it hurting. That's the far more rational explanation for that. Barnabas and Hazel at least in part because she was the one responsible for healing all the owls. Most of the owls, and Barnabas because he was one of the ones who took them. As a distinct recollection of, okay, well, we can probably expect Remy and possibly Alice to turn up because this might have to do with one of those fallen assholes getting a hold of our blood somehow. Which, well, the only way they would have been able to do that would have been during the mess at the duel. I mean, Barnabas comes up with a tiny bit ahead of Hazel, but not by all that much.
They got the fallen assholes that got blood from a bunch of us. Probably how this is going. I still want to blame Lord Fancy Pants of the Fairies for it, but I'm pretty sure it's not him.
It's a good instinct.
I don't know. I probably shouldn't blame him for everything that goes wrong.
How though? How though did they get our
The
blood?
duel. Wounds from the duel and everything, and the melee and all of that.
Oh.
Yeah, and at around that point, in the cage next to Barnabas, Remy was watching Alice effectively dancing to various of the street musicians on the Street of Song who were particularly enjoying being her accompaniment from what you can tell. And bam! Black. And then you two are stuck in a similar cage situation.
God damn it.
Ah, Remy. Ah, Alice.
You don't get a response to that.
Remy looks around for Al. Remy checks her ring.
You're in a magic-free zone. It is not working.
Remy looks around for Alice.
No, you see Barnabas on one side and a whole lot of black on the other.
Huh.
I'm tempting fate here, but can you all make me another intelligence check, please? Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, I suppose. Ah, there you
22.
go! I was hoping.
Hey.
I was hoping that you would redeem that unfortunate 2.
I'm just happy I'm not forgetfully clicking a saving throw anymore.
Yeah,
I continue to be at the mercy of random rolls because my modifier is a zip.
Yeah. It is the 2 intellectual powerhouses going, okay, we all took injuries in the melee. None of you know exactly how Alice was set to bleeding. The only one among you who knows is Remy, but possibly the method of how her blood was taken may have had some bearing on where she'd ended up. But you'd have to ask Remy for details.
Well, Remy, Alice, she died, right?
Yes.
How did that happen? Because if they've got our blood from that day, then it might be something related to that and how they took Alice's.
There was a lot of blood, but then I killed Jessamy very quickly, so you think that this has to do with people's blood?
Yeah, you guys did clarity first because that was the better role. You're realizing, wait, no, she wasn't there when we determined what that was about.
Oh, you weren't here a second ago. So we determined that those of us here were injured during that day with the duel, and that these crazy shenanigans with the bird cages might have to do with them getting some of our blood.
Well, yes, there was a lot of blood in Alice's cell, but the only fallen Asimar there was Jessamy, and I killed her, and then we did leave after that, so I guess someone could have come back before those halflings cleaned everything.
Of course, you both notice, probably Barnabas more than Clarity, or more likely to push than Clarity. She's still not answering the fucking question.
Remy.
Yes?
I mean, I get it, but could you be a little more direct?
Jessamy cut out her heart.
Right.
But afterwards, there wasn't anything left but the blood on the floor, and I didn't see any other fallen Asimar alive up there.
You too. Heart is tissue. Would they have noticed if a piece of that tissue was missing when it was... Well, actually, first of all, you don't even know that the heart was dumped back in, so what happened to the heart? And even if it did go back into the chest, which you'll find out about in character in a minute, tissue could still have been taken, especially if somebody removed it. Stuff sticks under fingernails. But right now, your initial question is her heart was removed. That couldn't have anything to do with it.
So, this is going to be an awful question, but when her heart was removed, was it put back in and was it whole?
Yeah, I'm as whole as it could possibly be, so that I could do the revivify, which requires everything to be where it's supposed to be. It's
Right.
just that I don't think it was that long between Jessamy killing her and me killing Jessamy.
Yeah,
Well,
Remy does not. Remy intelligence is not Remy's strong point. You're gonna have to spell out that pieces of tissue could still be a spell focus.
well, okay. So, Jessamy could have had some tissue of LSA's still left on her, on the fingernails or on the parts of her. I mean, not to get too graphic and not to be too terrible, but,
Was
splattering.
stuck in bird cages, suspended over who knows what. Now is not the time for tact.
Okay, so, there could have been bits, and that could still be used, and it's not like we went and collected Jessamy's body right away. That was there for a while.
Yeah, Alana was the one, in fact, who went to pick up the body.
Okay, but where's Alice then? If we're here, but she's not, and missing a few people.
How much do you
But-
want to
Yeah.
bet that it's
That's
fucking
fine.
personal?
I mean,
I think
that's-
I can bet my entire cash store and probably win.
They say that's a sucker bet.
Well,
This
we
is-
don't know.
This is the same kind of very personal revenge bullshit we got from the Fae. Probably more so. So either we're stuck waiting until something unfucks itself, or one of us starts hitting a wall or a floor until something breaks.
No, there's no floor. The floor we have established. Barnabas and I have established that the floor is a situation.
Also, Barnabas, you're the tactician. You're the details man. The true precariousness of your situation is that you are suspended over a deadly drop. Why would they keep someone with wings? Physical wings.
Or she's somewhere else because she's got physical wings, and being suspended over a deadly drop means all of Jack over shit to her.
Also, she has. This is probably more Hazel. Also, she has proven that she can literally punch a goddamn door down.
Speaking of which,
Bonus, she can also hit doors hard enough to remove them from their hinges.
Barnabas takes out a silver piece and just flicks it out into the void to try to tell how long until we hear a noise. If we hear a noise.
You do not hear a noise. It also has enough time for Remy to remember Alice can also pick locks. Of course they didn't want the person who can fly and pick locks and punch door downs in with you.
Well, that's concerning.
It's been a good 2 minutes and you have heard nothing.
Either there isn't a bottom, or it's so far down that the sound can't reach us. Yet.
Remy starts looking around
Yeah.
with her magical dark vision.
Okay, you can make me a perception check. Just a regular perception check. Well, even magical dark vision does not go far enough to determine the bottom of your situation.
What about
Yeah, that
forward
I'm.
and around?
Can you give me a minute? I was starting with the bit that was concerning to everyone else, and then I was going to move on. Give me a moment. Sometimes I pause for dramatic effect, and also because I am a mammal and mammals require oxygen to live. Thank you. Looking up, you will notice that your the chains that are holding your separate bird cages are a good 35 feet up and kind of rusty looking, so they're going to be a bitch to climb. And also, you probably don't want to swing around too much because those are incredibly rusty. There's only one direction that your vision goes far enough to see a wall, because even magical dark vision doesn't actually go very far. You can see a wall about 40, 50 feet away. Sort of as you're facing Barnabas directly at your back. Doesn't seem to be a door on that section. Everything else is too far from your from the edge of your dark vision.
Does the wall look like carved stone or a natural cliffside?
It doesn't look like natural cliffside. It's fairly smooth, but I mean, currently you've got black and white due to the sheer lack of light in the area, so you can't really gauge color, and you're not quite seeing clearly enough to see whether there's joins that suggest it's brickwork. It's remarkably smooth from what you can see, and that's about it.
Okay.
I mean, Hazel can have a look as well if she wants to, but she's still at disadvantage.
Perception disadvantage.
Yep.
And
Nah, you're seeing a whole lot of nothing. I mean, you can see where you can see the chain going up, but you can't see where it ends.
update. I can't see shit.
Yeah, us neither. I mean, I could possibly pick the lock, but where would I go? That's
Theoretically up, but I don't see where up goes.
Before we get to break time, does Remy want to explain why up is a bad idea? Because there doesn't seem to be any way out up.
Oh, I'm not seeing any doors up either, and the chains holding these things don't look, well, they're concerningly rusty. So I don't think, doesn't look like climbing will get anywhere.
well.
Well,
And we're trapped waiting.
I will give you guys the break time to have a think about it, and these guys to have a think about what they're going to ask Offred when they get there, and we'll see you in a bit. And we're back in the midst of a fairly unfortunate, fairly precarious sort of situation, and we will return to Ava and Rylan, who are heading, now they're out of the Street of Song, heading in the direction of the Street of Knowledge through the Street of Love and Beauty, which is where it does not take a perception check to notice this. There's a good-sized box, sort of off to the side of the pavement. It's green, with a red gold bow and little red gold sunburst patterns on it. And that's probably enough of Hazel beacon for you to investigate, and yeah, there is a tag to Hazel from Clarity.
Get up.
It's
Well, we need to hold on to this.
it's fairly dense, actually. No idea what's in it, but then again,
Yeah, I'm not going to open it.
yeah, I know.
Nope,
Just
neither am I.
then again, neither do they. So where I was going with that.
Keep that to come. See you later.
Out of to make life easier, I'm going to say that Farida passed on her bag of holding to Rylan, so that you haven't lost one due to.
Right.
So it's some place to put the box.
Okay.
So yeah, Nix, if you want to make a note, you have a bag of holding.
I'm marking it.
I need to double check and see what's actually in it at some point, but for now it is a convenient place to store things.
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah.
We've now found a little thing from Alice, a little thing from Clarity.
Should probably go over what to ask or
Offred.
Offred.
I mean, I was just gonna ask what people can do with blood. Because
That could be.
I know I do like dark
question
stuff,
to
but I
ask.
do shadows. Blood is above my pay grade. Proverbially speaking.
Well, we might not want to phrase it quite like that, but yes, that is not a bad idea to.
Rylan, this is the dark, creepy street. Do you really think anybody's gonna care?
Probably.
Rylan is too panicked to have that thought.
Fair. That's fair.
That's not a bad idea to ask. They might know something about that. I was thinking of how much would they know about the disappearance of Paul and Asimar. Most likely would have heard something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Where would, if they wanted to hide something or someone, where would they think was a good place? Have any
Also, good
of
to
the
ask.
Paul and Asimar come asking about any of us? Because
out of character, just because Ava is in the middle of a train of thought. I'm sorry, I know that Rylan is panicking, but didn't you guys spend an awful lot of time finding maps of the sewers because that's where you were guessing they were hiding?
Yeah, that's
so
actually what I was about to bring
okay,
up.
good. Just making sure, because
We have sewer maps for hideout locations, so we know.
actually, do you have? That's the big question.
Do
you
we
still
have them? Yeah.
those,
We have them made.
or does Barnabas have them?
Good question.
Because he got them from Cherie.
And he would still
probably still have them on him.
Fuck.
Damn it.
But at least we have a location.
Maybe.
It's more than nothing.
We could ask a way into them? Maybe?
That would also probably be a good thing.
But sewers would definitely be a discreet place to sneak things in and out of. Or people. Think of anything we're missing?
To be fair, and again, I'm just gonna call Rylan the common sense at this point. You're not gonna know if there's anything else until you get the answers to some of the questions you already have.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna really know what else to ask until we ask the first little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, in all fairness, Ava knows this because Alice in particular has been a proponent of you don't necessarily know what, when you're doing your questions for Speak with Dead, she's always about leave some wiggle room because you don't know what question the answer that you get's going to lead up to. So she said that so many times.
Yes, that is a good point. Well,
let's just go and we'll figure the conversation out as it happens.
And off you go to the alley that Farida and Darvin had pointed out to you at one point. And yeah, as soon as you cross into the alley, the temperature drops about, I'm gonna say, like, because I know one of you doesn't know Fahrenheit, sorry, but about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so noticeable but not freezing. The whole place just is. These shadows are somewhat less friendly than the ones in the rest of the street.
I can see why Faraday wasn't keen on coming down here by herself.
Definitely, but we can cross that bridge when our friends aren't missing.
Yep.
And it's it really is only a couple of doors in that the little cafe bar reading spot with the little green lantern over it uh, you know, is noticed. Yeah. When you go in, it's fairly late, but the place is still open. A couple of people probably trying not to be so much noticed in their various corners with their various drinks, and half-orc gentleman behind the bar.
That must be altered.
Looks up and gives a, whenever you're ready, kind of nod.
Let's go.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, what can I get you?
Hopefully some information.
Wow, your friends are a little more polite about it than you are.
Apologies, we...
No, what I mean is that your Dragonborn friend actually went, I know it's impolite to just turn up asking for information, so we're going to order something, and then we will ask you questions.
Sorry, brain.
I'm just going to
Do you
give
have
you something that's not going to fuck you up too badly. And pulls out buns under the bar and sort of a hissing noise and a couple of cups of tea. Bunk.
Again,
that's a silver for the lot, by the way.
block of gold.
Wow, you must be asking for an awful lot of information. Just be glad you're in Anbir and you haven't done this too much on this street. You keep throwing money around like it's water in this alley, and you might have some issues.
Good to know. Yes, so apologies. The reason I was perhaps a little impolite unintentionally was our friends who have gone missing. Not our Dragonborn friend, but our other
Oh, I'm
group.
surprised you're saying it's not the Dragonborn and the Bucket Bard. I figured if anybody was going to go missing, Bucket Bard would say the wrong thing in front of Tasha down the street and get themselves in over their heads. The Dragonborn was sensible enough. Bucket Bard was. There's a reason I stuck a bucket on his head for the duration of that particular conversation.
So we figured to come to you because the reason they're missing involves blood and magic of some kind. We're not entirely sure.
Okay, wow, so you really didn't talk to Tansy down the street.
No.
Did either of them tell you anything about anything I said to them? Or do you just not remember because you're panicking?
More than likely the second one. It's not every day that 5 of your closest allies just vanish into the aether,
No, but it's happened to
proverbially.
that one a few too many times for comfort, pointing at Ava.
Well informed.
Yeah, that's kind of my job, and clearly you all either have not heard or didn't think it was worth remembering the information that I gave to your Dragonborn friend and Bucket Bard.
I honestly got my did Faraday tell us
Yes!
ah, well,
And at
great.
this point, I'm just going to go with your too panic to remember shit, because to be honest, they didn't remember this to tell this part either. So they did say that Offred was very well informed, and they told them about the creepy individual who the governor apparently keeps an eye on at the end of the street. But they didn't touch on the most important part of that, and that's why I wanted them here this session. But never mind. So the impression you're getting by the I guess you really didn't speak to Tansy down the street is this Tansy down the street might know something, so you might have to ask for further clarification because either you missed something, you're forgetting because panic, or all of the above.
Tansy. What did they say about that name?
They probably didn't say the name because they didn't ask me for names. And then you're like, wait a minute, they said. I don't know if Ava was there for that one, but they did say, creepy lady down the end of the street and who might have some information about the darker gods, but you'd have to be careful with dealing with her because she's tricksy. So Rylan might ask, whether or not, what kind of tricksy do they mean?
Um, they mentioned that Tansy has sort of a reputation for being crazy. Could you elaborate on that?
I guess they didn't cover the fact that you're the second in command of the former Captain Tag was spending an awful lot of time there a few weeks ago. They really didn't mention that part? They really didn't mention that part. Out of character, no, they didn't, and I'm
No,
still.
Not
they
my recollection.
did. Hey,
Why do I even give people information if they're not going to remember the salient bits? Rylan. Wait, how could she have been there and not have fallen? Except, wait, no, you weren't getting any answers from the corpse, so there was clearly another Jessamy somewhere.
oh, oh, oh no!
What?
There's more than one of her.
What? How?
There's a
Think
couple of
about it.
there's a couple of different ways. I mean, some people who are either very powerful themselves or have powerful patrons can keep a clone nearby. And if she wanted to hide a change of appearance outside of the anti-magic field, she can disguise self, whatever.
Oh.
Because if Jessamine had been down this street, she would have turned, and we would have noticed a lot sooner. Oh, shit.
And by tricksy, I mean, well, shit like that. Ways you can use blood as a focusing object. Well, I hope they just used it as a focusing object. A lot of
What
things
else?
you, a lot of things you can do with a piece of someone. I mean,
There's.
command, sicken, straight up kill. But then again, that bunch probably pissed that whole group up enough to really want them to suffer through the whole thing. Basically, any kinds of magics you can think of that are really too nasty to really be thought about. Tansy down the street at least knows something.
Okay.
Rylan,
Okay.
who is weirdly familiar with the darker turns magic can take just because of where he got his powers, would that happen to include taking the souls of people who have been killed and using them as power sources, additions to the strength of others, that kind of thing? Because Alice was flagging up that the first ones you fought were relatively weak. The ones that you fought at the fire were stronger. So it might be worth
Would
asking whether Tansy knows about that kind of magic.
does that include like souls bits?
Probably.
Mm,
She was the Alice was the only one who died.
Yeah,
And
but
what
she
happened
yeah,
to
but she came back, and if they're doing anything to souls, she wouldn't have. If they were doing anything permanent to souls and they didn't do it to her, you brought her back, so her soul's probably fine.
Because she didn't have time.
But if they got blood or
But it's
anything
very
else, still shit that could be done. I think anyway. I mean, I know the kinds of things she specializes in, but I don't know them, if you see what I mean.
mm,
I'm more a
Mhm.
gatekeeper in this place than anything else. I keep an eye on who comes in, who they talk to. But that doesn't mean I have to know anything about the powers they're trying to throw around. That's just gonna get me into even worse shit.
But you know what someone could do with someone else's heart? Or would that be more something else, Tansy?
Like I say, I'm a lot, even with the blood, I'm guessing, but I figure if you have a piece of something that much of someone, you could do just about whatever you wanted. Assuming you had the know-how.
Mhm.
If it helps, more than likely a random magic user who just has the ability to read a scroll or whatever couldn't pull off anything really severe. You'd need an expert. I don't think any of the guards, changed or not, were experts.
Okay.
Uh, Translation for Rylan the moderately wise. Tansy down the street certainly does have that kind of know-how.
So Tansy would know that at the very least.
More than likely. Just be careful when you deal with her. Like I said, tricksy.
Warning received. You got anything else? Because I think that's all I can think of.
Mm, well, I was going to ask if any of anyone came asking information about us, but that probably wouldn't be an issue.
No, I would have mentioned that to your dragonborn friend and bucket bard.
Mm,
Generally speaking, I charge for my information and I keep my sources to myself. I'm not giving random guardsmen that kind of information, especially if they're not actually guardsmen anymore. If for no other reason, then I am not minded to do their job for them.
mm. Fair enough.
Very fair.
If they know anything about you, it's from the mess you guys made of that settlement. And I imagine, given that you tore down their cushy life, probably more pissed at the ones that are missing than anything else.
Mm,
Mm.
I reckon they pissed at all of us. The only reason they didn't get some of us is we didn't get injured in the fight.
Oh, please. You two were, as far as I've been able to gather, so far at the end of the fray, they might not even have properly identified you. Everybody else was front and center.
Mhm.
And, not to be overly rude, but I have a feeling that Bucket Bard, they probably figure he'd cause more chaos out here with you. Though I notice he's not with you, which is good. I didn't want to break the bucket out again.
Oh, sure. Thank you for all
Incidentally,
of this.
if you're going to go deal with Tansy, drink the god's damn tea. Yeah, you will have.
Tea.
It is good tea, but it also, for the next hour or so, gives you advantage on intelligence, charisma, and wisdom saving throws.
Ooh.
Noted.
So the two panicky ones are finding themselves somewhat clearer of mind right now, in a way that Rylan, at least as the primary magic user in this group, recognizes as this is a protective thing as much as anything else. Ava just thinks, "Wow, I feel better. That was some good tea."
Thank you for all of this.
Keep your eyes open and don't believe everything you see first up.
Noted.
But no. Hey. Pansy it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll deal with this as best as we can. So yeah, at the very far end of this particular alley, this place is even darker and more foreboding than the rest of the alley, and you didn't think this was possible outside the Shadowfell. In fact, you probably have to double check to make sure you're not in the Shadowfell, but you're not. It's just this whole place has an aura of creepy. Going in?
Going
I
in.
have to.
The place kind of looks like a junk shop as a set designed by Vincent Price.
Hmm.
Like kind
Okay.
of like the Addams Family without the wholesome. There's plants that are moving and apparently trying to bite you, and they do have some fairly nasty little needle teeth. There's a row of bottles on one shelf of unreasonably colored liquids, one of which is foaming in its beaker, and one actually kind of seems to jostle in your general direction. Everything in this place seems to be looking at you with an air of menace. It is a Cenobite jumble sale.
You tell me I'm not the end of the room. This place is giving me creeps.
Why, thank
Yeah.
you. Little desk in the corner, and in darkness enough that because Rylan wasn't looking in that direction, neither of you could see. Young-ish looking, human-ish looking, remarkably pale. And it's actually no, neither of you can see color at this point. The light's not good enough. So yeah, you're just getting remarkably pale, remarkably dark-haired individual looking at you like
Are you Tansy by chance?
Might be. You
We
don't.
need
You don't seem like the
we
sort of
need some
person.
help.
Oh, really?
Would we were recommended to you as a source for people who would know things about working with blood and working with souls?
I may know a few things. The question is what it's worth to you. Sufficient generosity might get you the answers you're after.
Sufficient
I have the feeling
generosity.
you mean more than gold.
That'd probably be part of it. I mean, after all, at the very least, I have to be able to make a change. But no. Ask your questions and we'll see what can come of it.
Can souls be used as a source of power?
Oh, that's costly information. Also a delicate subject. Might need to have a word with you alone about that one.
That's fine.
Does Rylan want to, because he's the one with the elf eyes and can probably see reasonably well, does Rylan want to make me a perception check at this point?
That I will. Just let's see. Not a save, not an advantage. 22.
Yeah. Um, One thing you notice when she smiles a little, when she talks, I'm gonna hand of fate this next bit. Oh, hand of fate likes you. You've heard some stories about particularly dark, loving individuals who tend toward the pale with the particularly pointy incisors, and the sort of person who you might want protection in the intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves for. You're looking at a vampire.
I thought so. I had a bad feeling it was a
I mean,
vampire.
Ava does not
Yeah,
see
I don't
this,
know.
but
I do
yeah.
not. I mean, other character. Then you said it's very pale, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, there are a lot of things that could have been, but still.
If you
Don't want the
think we
answer.
have,
Don't want the answer that badly, do you?
Why does it have to be them alone?
Privacy.
hmm,
Insight check Rylan with advantage. Because Rylan actually knows what she is.
oh goodness, not great. It's a 12.
Still, your target isn't as high either. Just waiting on no, Marion, you too.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I specified Rylan with advantage, sorry.
Ah. Mm. 50.
Yeah, both of you, the privacy is not because of the sensitivity of the information.
Um,
Hmm, goodness. I get the feeling there's a different reason you want me or my companion alone.
Well, if you're going to be like that about it, you can just leave my shop.
I don't mean that as a as a point of rudeness.
But that is in fact how it came out. Shoo. If you're going to be rude about it, we could have had a civilized conversation, a little give, a little take, a little back, a little forth, but no, you just had to throw the wall straight up and ruin the entire thing.
That's not.
But that's what you did.
Then apologies
Shoo.
are in order, for that was not my intent.
Not accepted. Shoo. And do learn at least some subtlety. I would have accepted a dance around the subject, not just a I think you're lying. Well, I have security now.
Trying to think if I should intervene or not, but how?
Well, I mean, if you can't come up with anything, you have a moment, but not a very long moment until whatever passes for security gets called.
Is there
No, no, no,
some
no, no,
way?
no, 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 no. There is nothing. There is going away.
Find some way.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, uh, I'll apologize
Sorry, just
when.
give me a minute.
Uh, I didn't expect us to go straight to
Answer my phone. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, I really did not expect that. Tansy is
No, I get it. It's fine. It's
no,
fine.
it really isn't.
We were told it was Trixie. She was Trixie. So.
Unfortunately.
I'm too blunt for my own fucking good, apparently.
Okay.
Eh?
Gonna hand of fate this. I'm assuming you're leaving?
Yeah, I'm just.
And how far do you go? I mean, do you stop anywhere near the shop? Because I have a
Once we're
feeling.
outside, I just
Probably
stop.
not super far, but like at least a couple of feet away to sort of indicate we're not loitering near the entry.
Rylan gets a kind of a tug, tug, tug on the hem of tunic.
I just looked in the direction of where I felt the tug.
What you have to assume is a half-elven boy. Not tansy pale, but that kind of I don't get enough sun, I might be slightly anemic pale. Dressed in sort of shabby finery, if you see what I mean. Yeah, wow. Um, I just wanted to say sorry, mister. Miss?
That's
I don't know what
uh,
gender neutral honorific.
either is fine. It's okay. Things don't go everyone's way all the time. It happens.
I'm just curious what you were asking.
Some of our friends are missing, and I screwed up our one lifeline into getting some information out of.
Okay, Rylan's a little too upset at the moment to really
Yeah,
understand the gift that has been given here. Ava, kid who probably needs more iron in their diet, probably came out of somewhere around that shop.
I think he's from where we just came.
Kinda, yeah. I don't know everything that the mistress knows, but I might be able to answer something.
Much do you know about souls?
I got one. Mistress doesn't.
No, it's worth a try. Uh, hearts, by chance? What people could do with them? If
I find out more about the blood stuff.
that could also help. Blood is likely the cause of why our friends are missing.
Who do
They were
you
the
think?
ones who bled that day.
Okay, but can I get a little bit more out of this? Because I don't know all that much, but I see things and I could narrow it down, maybe. I don't know.
Have you heard about the fallen Nazimar who escaped recently?
Well, I hadn't seen any fallen Azamar, but there was a redheaded one who kept coming in. Although I don't think she was naturally redheaded because I'm pretty sure there was magic.
That's just me, right?
Probably, yes.
It sounds like it's someone we know.
She was asking about the blood and the souls and the everything.
Do you happen to know what she was told?
No. Just I mean some of it anyway. I saw the books that she got to read, but I kind of wasn't in great shape during that conversation. I'm gonna hand to Fate this to see how. Yeah, it's Rylan who probably wants to believe the absolute worst of this Tansy woman, and even more wants to believe the worst of this Jessamy bitch. Has a sinking feeling that this kid was the payment for the information Tansy got because of course, Rylan, they're also still the only one who knows that they were dealing with a vampire. So yeah, it makes sense that Rylan would be the one who figures out, wait, were you like payment?
Were, hmm, were you meant to act as a payment of sorts?
Oh, not of sorts. Real definitely payment.
Would I notice any like hang marks or
No, high collar.
ah? I mean,
Of course, Ava's head is going predominantly to slave trade.
like
Not in the way I think you're thinking.
Probably that too. I mean,
Uh,
otherwise I'd be not anymore. But I'm useful around the shop.
wait. What do you mean not?
Andy's a vampire. I'll just say it.
That explains a lot.
And this kid was payment for Jessamy. They got the same kind of information we want.
I mean, I know some stuff. It's just I don't know what all of it means because I'm not even from here. I don't think. Where is here anyway? I never got told exactly where here is.
Anbir.
Where?
Where are you from exactly?
Star Coast.
Oh, a long way from South Coast.
That we are. Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Said. I know there were a lot of diagrams, and some is gating with blood. Some is controlling with blood. Mostly she was interested in the gating and the tracking with blood, I think.
That would
Especially
make
yesterday.
some.
Yeah, this also
Yesterday,
makes sense.
yesterday, I think I heard Mistress asked if she was sure that just killing wouldn't be what she was after, and the redhead lady said no. No, she wants to do it herself and watch. She wants to hear the screaming.
All right.
Deeply concerning. Okay.
She did ask for another thing. This
Which.
wasn't a blood thing or a soul thing or a heart thing or anything like that. It was a different calling thing. For the devil eel?
Have
Hang
you
on.
heard of that, Rhino?
No, none of you are coastal. None of you would have even heard legends of this. Let me see if I can conjure the picture. Takes a while to focus, and a little silent image of massive eel-like fish, sort of, although with some fins on either side, so part coelacanth. Huge maw of teeth, one giant red eye.
That looks deeply unpleasant.
It's a swimmer. Out of character, neither of you are stupid. The only place that you would wind up with water that you wouldn't be able to track through a locate object spell would be the sewers. There's bound to be pipes leading to.
To see your
Well, at the
well,
very least,
certainly
this.
matches with our sewer
Mm-hmm.
theories.
I think the best way in is aqueducts by the Strait of Plenty.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just don't tell Mistress I said. She can be mad.
Not, not a word. Not a word.
Right. Unless you can think of anything else. Should we head in that
I got nothing
direction?
else. Only thing we're missing is Barnabas had the map, so we don't know where they would be hiding. Like, we know they're in the sewers, but
And hopefully once I'm in the sewers, I'll be able to use my spell.
Out of character, why don't you just ask Cherie if she could potentially get further copies?
Cherie. She might have special needs.
yes. Yes, of course. Glad, because Sherry wasn't involved in that bloodbath, so
What sort of time would it right now?
It's
it's dead of night. We're gonna
Go to
probably
the
take this up
house.
with her in the morning.
Do we have time though? We
Or
don't know what they're doing to them.
I suppose that's fair.
And
I mean, I
Rylan,
hate to bother her in the middle of the night, but
yeah, Rylan, do you really honestly think that given what you've seen of the various relationships, that Cherie wouldn't want to be woken up to get her boyfriend out of
I
dire
was.
peril?
Plus, yeah, if we go later, she's
Fair
gonna be, why
enough.
didn't you come immediately?
Okay, I guess Cherie's it is.
Is
Okay.
is the little guy still there?
He's sort of backing into the alley because you guys seem to have forgotten he's here and sort of.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
That's because I didn't give it. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very
Probably fair.
much.
But thank you for all of this.
I promise.
Melts back into the shadows and out of character. When Hazel finds out you let that kid go back into a vampire's lair, she's going to kill you herself.
One problem at a time.
Oh yeah, but
One problem at a time.
Not entirely a lot.
Yeah,
we could do
y'all.
this quickly.
This is gonna be fun later.
There was nothing we could do at that point.
five words that I'm sure Hazel will yell at you. Go to the bone orchard. But it's gone now. So
For the record, Ava, we do not tell Hazel about the kid.
I hate leaving him there, but we can't solve everything right now.
One problem at a time.
we'll leave you guys and spend the last 10 minutes seeing if you guys have thought anything about your predicament.
Remy examines the cage thoroughly.
I mean, it's not really meant to keep in the strong and the determined. It's mostly keeping you from plummeting into whatever it is you're dangling over besides, a precipice.
Okay, so did anyone see any walls?
Nope.
That away. But it's just flat stone.
Clarity's gonna take out her crossbow
Okay.
and just start shooting in random directions to see just how far they go.
Yeah, the problem is if you can't. I mean, you hear crossbow bolts hitting things, but you can't. They're a little outside of the range of what you can see with your last perception check. So
Well, I just want to.
You know there are walls. There are ways away. But
I just wanted to see like how far-ish,
Like
kind of like
distance
dropping a
hearing,
coin.
How long before it?
You're
Bounces on me.
probably looking at about 40, 50 feet. And that's uniform. You haven't come across anything that sounds or feels like it's gone through a door or passageway or anything like that. The clank that you're hearing is actually more of a clink, so it's that arrowhead is hitting that bolt is hitting stone.
Well, we can't use magic in here. I I'm not so good at climbing. So me getting out of the cage is possible. Not sure any sort of activity outside of that would be advised. Especially since I don't know if there's magic. Is it the cage or this area?
That is a good question, but there's nowhere to go if any of us could get out of the cage.
Unless we count down
We're not counting down.
While
That is
I'm willing
not
to
an
do the
acceptable
dumb
solution.
thing and drop, I don't know how long before I'd hit something.
Well,
Or if I'd hit something, I wouldn't immediately die from hitting.
okay,
Well-
okay. All right. Let's not. That's you plummeting for no good reason is not a plan of action.
I
Darling.
know. That's why I'm pointing it out. That while I would be happy to do it, it's completely stupid because we still have no idea what's down there.
We still haven't heard the coin.
Really
hit the
annoying
ground
not
yet.
knowing anything.
From sort of way over far end, about as far away as you can get from you guys. There's a gets a little brighter. You do seem to be in out of character. The only name I have for the material of the pipe-looking thing that you're in is concrete. There's not so much a door as there is it's almost a drain opening. Fairly large. And standing in it, none of you except for Remy saw what Jessamy looked like when she'd actually properly fallen. You know, when the appearances were showing up. But and you guys are a little far away to make out details anyway. But Remy recognizes the voice well enough. That would be Jessamy.
How far away is this drain opening?
A good ways away, because you're 30 feet from any of the walls, and this is the farthest she can get from you. You may have to raise your voice a bit.
Has she said anything further, or is she just laughing?
She's taking a minute to enjoy the situation you're in. Yes.
That's fair. Remy is clearly bristling with recognition as she looks that way and glares.
Who is that? I can't see that far.
Jessamy.
Jessamy.
What?
Didn't she hit a light or something?
Yeah, but you're still fairly far away, so details is difficult, because when they saw her, she still had the red hair. When you saw her, she still had the red hair. Remy's the only one who's seen that particular coloring, so mostly you're seeing a black and white chiaroscuro blur over there. But you do also recognize the voice when she actually deigns to speak. Nothing further to say than that, really.
No. All that's left to do is kill you. Again.
Oh, I was going to just let you stew over a particular bit of further plan, but you, at the very least, I think I'm going to make watch. The rest of you, I'll be introducing to a friend of mine. Starts to walk away, but snaps her fingers, and as if on some kind of rail, the cage that's holding Remy sort of starts going around the edge of the concrete tube that you're in, and then follows at a respectful distance, out, and the drain opening shuts. That's when you hear faintly at first, very faintly, so it's clearly a long way down, the sound of fountaining water. The place is filling up relatively quickly, so Clarity, who's attempting to be more perceptive, and Hazel, who is also perceptive due to wisdom, are the first ones to see something very large, long and finned, and massive maw of teeth. Large,
Ooh, what a
large size minimum.
what a time to
Swimming.
not have magic.
Barnabas, there's something bitey down there.
Yeah, when Barnabas looks down, because it's starting to fill up a little faster now, and yeah, this is something out of Dredge gone wrong, even for Dredge.
Ooh.
I'm gonna start unlocking my cage.
We're going to leave it there because we are at that time. And I'm sorry, that was beautifully timed, so I'm almost glad that Rylan put his foot in it as far as he did. So I'm sorry, I really am. Tansy is such a bitch.
Yeah, we'll get the kick down the door with the daylight spell next time.
Assuming, I don't know how much you're going to hear about that. So, anyway, I will see you all in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, when we'll resolve some of this mess.
Good stuff.